I love the Transformers community because every time I ask, you all deliver, and it's amazing. So a couple videos ago, I did a list of what I thought were just straight up mini masterpiece figures, basically mainline figures that were just as good, and in some cases better than their masterpiece counterpart. And I said to all the people who checked out the video, write down in the comments any figures you think I might have missed, or any figures I should have straight up included, or what you thought of the list in general. And man, did you deliver, man. So first of all, so I posted this on one of my community groups that I'm in, and I got a couple of quick little snapbacks from friends of mine who were like, dude, you didn't include these figures. So I got to do a little bit of house cleaning first. And the first one is Studio Series 86 Gnaw, aka Sharkticon. And the reason I have to put this one up there first is because I actually included this in my top figures for 2021, but managed to leave it out of my mini masterpiece list, even though in that video I called this figure a mini masterpiece. Man, oh man. But yeah, this is a mini masterpiece. Straight up. Like you can go buy a more expensive version of this figure. You can get a third-party version if you want. Do you. But honestly, you ain't gonna top this. Not for the value. $22. You can army build the heck out of these things, basically for the price you would pay for a third-party version of this figure, or third-party set. So just throwing it out there. This figure I'm also kind of kicking myself in the butt for. Studio Series 86 Slag or Slug, whatever you want to call him. Yeah, with a proper figure on his back. None of that bullshit Daniel figure, that nonsense that they included when they could have just gave us a damn sword. But yeah, everything a Dinobot should be. It is everything I said about Grimlock in the previous video is everything I echo with this. Now I have a strange feeling that a year and a half down the road or something like that, when they finally release all of them, we're gonna get a box set, a $250 box set with all of them all glossed up with like the premium finish or whatever nonsense. And if they do that, and if you missed out on any of these figures, or you just don't want any of them in their current form, or I don't know why, I have a feeling they're gonna do that. I have a feeling it's coming. But yeah, this guy mixed with Grimlock, Sludge is coming. I swoop. I'm all in. I want these figures. Bring them on. So now we have to get to my sort of upset special. Now this figure in its current form does not exist in a masterpiece form, but the character does, and that is the Siege Starscream. Now I'm gonna go on the record of saying this is the best mainline Starscream figure ever made. It has its flaws, sure. It basically is a clam former. I wouldn't even call it a shell former. It's more like a clam former. But yeah, poses amazing. Feels great in the hand. Like it just feels premium despite being a mainline figure. The only thing that's missing in this figure, honestly, is die cast. If this figure had die cast in it, people would be jumping out of roofs, gliding like Batman to try to get a hold of this figure. But this is it. This is the best mainline Starscream figure I think ever made. If they make something better down the road, sure, but this is the competition. This is the standard bearer. Now for this one, I gotta give a shout out to King of the Beast Wars, one of my favorite subscribers to the channel. Put me onto this, and I'm kind of mad I missed it. And this one, I love this figure. I should have had it on the previous list, but I didn't. And that is the Earthrise Snapdragon. Now, Earthrise was a mixed bag. It was part good figures mixed with shit, mixed with a handful of great figures. And this is one of those figures I feel like is a great figure. This is honestly like the best version of Snapdragon we've ever gotten in the main line, and it probably, unless they make a masterpiece version, which I highly doubt, this is the standard bearer for this character. Now there are third-party figures out there, masterpiece scale figures. I remember watching, I believe it was Emgo was transforming this one, if I'm not mistaken, and it broke. I think it was Emgo. I'm not mistaken who did. I may be wrong with that, but I remember watching a video of somebody transforming that third-party figure and it broke. And you know, honestly, outside of the headmaster or the head on it being a little bit flimsy, it's really good. I just honestly wish they could have extended the arms out in robot mode so you can actually make the arms do a full 90 or maybe even double joint it up, you know. But I mean, seriously, other than that, you can't beat this figure. This is a fantastic representation of this character. So thank you so much, King, for pointing that one out to me. So I want to give a shout out to Big Quaker for pointing out the fact that I didn't have a lot of Bayverse figures in my list. And by I didn't have a lot, I didn't have any. But yeah, look no further. First on the hit list here, a figure I should have also included, and that is Studio Series Blitzwing. Now, this thing is a mini masterpiece. It has its flaws, sure, and like I've said many times, no figure is perfect, but it has its flaws, like the fact that you have to hold down his chest to move his arms to get him into a pose. Yeah, sure, fine, great. But I mean, there's a good accessory count. He looks, in robot mode anyway, he looks like his on-screen counterpart almost to a T. The jet mode, yeah, the jet mode is blah, but if you hadn't seen the movie and you just saw this figure, you would really, you would love this figure, and it's a great figure. Now, another figure that I'm going to throw out there is controversial, but so be it. There are third-party versions of this figure, and that is Studio Series Sentinel Prime. Now, this guy, yeah, the aesthetic is way darker than a lot of other versions of this figure. Even the old leader version is not this dark. It's a way much darker aesthetic, but it makes the red pop, and the paint just feels premium. Like I can transform this thing, and yeah, the transformation has a little bit of complexity to it, but it's nothing you can't overcome. It's just a fun figure. It's a fun figure. I don't know what else to say. This one is one of those figures that you definitely have to get an upgrade kit. Like, there's no question about that. This is an upgrade kit figure. But once you get the upgrade kit, this is phenomenal. Phenomenal. So yeah, got to give a shout out to Big Quaker for that. So shout out to Jason Walker for this one. The Studio Series Bumblebee movie Optimus Prime. Now, I confess I don't own this figure anymore. I did own it at one point. I don't own it anymore because I bought this guy. And I was like, well, I don't really need the other version because I have this guy. And I got him for like $60. I was like, well, I mean, double the price, but twice the fun, I think. But yeah, that Studio Series figure, that Bumblebee Optimus Prime, is fantastic. I remember when I got it, I loved it, and it it was a hard figure for me to give up. But in terms of mainline primes, this is it. This is one of my favorite primes that has been made. I love this figure, and part of me, when I was going through this, kind of reflected on why exactly did I sell this. I could have just kept it and had both, but I sold it. I don't know why, but I did. And yeah, I'm very mad at myself. But yeah, this one is a mini masterpiece. Jason also brought up Siege Ultra Magnus. Now, there are a lot of things I can say about this figure. Most of them, a vast majority of them, are positive. So negative wise, the parts forming, people don't like that. Sure, fine, great. Magnus booty, a lot of people like that. The alt mode looks it's kind of sketch with the hands poking out the back. I mean, he could have just easily had a flap and installed and flip his hands into that. But yeah, robot mode. This is Ultra Magnus. This is it. Like, other than that Kingdom Earth version, which actually looks pretty terrible, to me anyway, it looked pretty bad across the board. And outside of the robot mode, I didn't like pretty much any other thing about that figure. This one I at least like two of the three molds of this figure. I like the white prime inside. I like the Ultra Magnus. And the truck mode, yeah, it's not a car carrier, but it looks good. I mean, it serves its purpose. It serves its purpose. The parts forming is kind of weak, but it serves its purpose. And I got to put it on the list because I have to agree, it's a good representation. Actually excellent representation, of Ultra Magnus. Now this figure, I was sort of up in the air about. I didn't know if I was going to include him, but I just said the hell with it. He's one of my favorite characters, and I yet to find a better version of him outside of third party. And this is a mini masterpiece to me anyway. Siege Springer. I love this figure. I do. It has flaws. The transformation can be a little bit tedious, and there's some parts that are fragile, but man, he just looks like Springer. As soon as I saw this in the store, I was like, that's Springer. I have to have that. Like, I there was nothing else. I forsaked all other figures to get this figure because I love this figure. It is fantastic. It really is. It really does everything that I want a Springer to do, and it does it without question. I've had so much fun with this figure over the years, and I mean, it's a constant staple in my little collection on one of my big display shelves. It's just sitting there right there in front, just getting all the love because I love this figure. But yeah, this one is definitely a mini masterpiece. The accessory count is great. The transformation, tedious at points, like I said, but it gets you to the promised land, and it is a fantastic Springer. Now, this guy popped up on a forum, and a couple of people mentioned him in the comments, but this guy popped up in the forum, and I didn't think anything of it, and I kind of took a step back and said, yeah, why not? And that's Legends Jetfire. Yeah, that's all I have to say. Yeah, I mean, the bones are there for what we got with Siege Jetfire. I think that mold is probably converted into one of the best Seeker molds that I can think of. Yeah. Why isn't this on here? That's a great question. But yeah, this dude, yeah, this is great. This is a great figure. If you don't have the Siege Jetfire, but you happen to have this guy, I feel like you're in good hands with this one. But yeah, that's all I got for it. for this list. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comments of this one. And yeah, please feel free, like, share, comment, subscribe. And just remember, no matter how much crap these companies might give us, we're in this together. We should stick together. And every now and then we get these great figures that just shine a light on how good this hobby really is. But yeah, with that, please be safe, be good. And this is the Drunken Prime, cracking open another beer and signing off.